When my phone buzzed at 11:43 p.m., I expected it to be a wrong number or some late-night pizza deal. Instead, it was Mia, my coworker, the girl who always kept her headphones on, laughed softly at her own jokes, and somehow managed to make filing reports look graceful. Her message read, "Are you awake?" Before I could finish typing, "Yeah, what's up?" she called. Her voice sounded nervous, breathless. "Listen, I know this is strange, but I need a favor. A big one." "Mia, it's almost midnight," I said. "If this involves burying a body, I'm charging extra." She actually laughed, but it was shaky. "My parents are visiting from out of town this weekend. I kind of told them I was dating someone." "Let me guess," I said. "You told them it was me." A beat of silence. "Yeah," she whispered. I sat up straight. "You serious?" She exhaled fast. "They worry too much about me. And I was tired of them thinking I'm lonely or failing at life. You're the only person I trust enough to ask. Will you pretend to be my boyfriend? Just for the weekend?" I rubbed a hand over my face. "Okay. One question." "Anything," she said quickly. "I'm not sleeping on the sofa, right?" This time she burst out laughing, real laughing, the kind that sounded like sunlight. "No, you're not sleeping on the sofa." I didn't know then that those 8 words would change everything. When I arrived at her apartment Saturday morning, she looked like she hadn't slept at all. She kept straightening her sweater, brushing imaginary dust from the counter, adjusting frames on the wall. "You okay?" I asked. She nodded, but it wasn't true. Her parents knocked 5 minutes later. Her mother hugged her like she'd been gone for years. Her father shook my hand firmly and said, "So you're the guy?" Mia squeezed my arm nervously. "Yep. This is him." I smiled, trying not to look like a man who'd been roped into a fake relationship with a woman he may have secretly liked for months. At first, it went fine. Her parents were warm, curious, full of questions about how we met, what we liked to do together, where we saw ourselves in the future. Future? I nearly choked on my orange juice. Then things started shifting. Every time they asked how we met, Mia would glance at me with this soft smile, waiting for me to answer. And every time she talked about why she chose me, her voice grew more honest, less like a script. "He's patient," she said once, without looking at her parents. "He makes people feel safe," she added later. "He's someone you don't want to lose." Her parents didn't notice the way her voice trembled on that last sentence, but I did. It wasn't until after dinner that her father asked to speak with me on the balcony. He looked out over the city lights for a moment before saying quietly, "Be honest with me. Are you good to my daughter?" The question hit me harder than I expected. Maybe because I didn't know if I was pretending anymore. "I care about her," I said honestly. "More than I realized." He studied my face, then nodded. "She deserves someone who sees her worth. Someone who shows up when it matters." And for the first time, I felt like I wasn't faking a thing. That night, after her parents went to sleep in the guest room, Mia and I stood in the quiet kitchen, 2 mugs of tea between us. "You were amazing today," she said softly. "You too," I replied. "You played the part perfectly." She looked down at her tea. I wasn't really acting. The air went still. "Mia, I know it was just supposed to be for this weekend," she said, voice trembling. "And I know I shouldn't feel this way. But when you showed up, when you were there with my parents, something felt right. Like I didn't have to pretend anymore." I set my mug down and gently turned her face toward me. I wasn't pretending either. Her eyes softened, the fear in them melting into something hopeful, fragile, and real. "Is this crazy?" she whispered. "Probably," I said. "But good. Things usually are." She laughed, breathless. So, what happens now? I took her hand, the simplest gesture, but it felt like a promise. Now, I said, we stop pretending. The next morning, when her parents left, her mother hugged me and said, take good care of each other. Mia slipped her fingers into mine as the elevator doors closed, like she was afraid I might disappear with them. You know, I said teasingly, I'm still not sleeping on the sofa. She smiled, that same sunlight-warm smile from the night she called me. I'd be upset if you did. Not everything in life starts with fireworks or destiny or grand plans. Sometimes it starts with a late-night phone call, a nervous request, and a joke about a sofa. Sometimes kindness becomes love without either person realizing when the line blurred. And sometimes the best relationships begin exactly where you never expected them to. In the quiet moments where someone needs you. And you choose to show up. Because love, at its core, is just that. Two people choosing each other, again and again, even when they don't have to. And that weekend, we both chose each other. For real.